Greetings, fans, and welcome to Germs Bicep and the second edition of the 2018
JAMMYs
Awards. So, if you missed part one, we discussed the MVP, the wrestling MVP of the year, the most improved wrestler of the year, the best show of the year, the best match of the year. So make sure you check out part one if you haven't checked out part one yet. But in part two, we're going to get a little bit more in depth with some of the wrestling chat. We're going to talk about things like who's the newcomer of the year, who had the biggest moment of 2018. So these are just some of the things we're going to get into. Who had the best comeback of the year? Who's the comeback wrestler of the year? So let's get into that. So with the Jammy, the first one we're going to talk about is Germ. Who is your newcomer of 2018?
All right. First, to explain, he's the wrestling nerd, right?
Yeah.
He's the one who literally still watches VHS tapes of
Yes.
old matches
I really do have VHS tapes.
from other promotions in gyms and bingo halls that are not ECW.
Yeah.
Trust me. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
That used to be me.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. then
He got a life. That's what he got.
Then I went a different way. I'm still wrestling fan. No matter how much they disappoint me.
Yeah.
I still chase it for the nostalgia and the unique entertainment that only they can provide when they do it right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not saying that I watch it and that I'm mostly satisfied. That's not what I'm saying. All right. But again, I need to know who moves the needle from wrestling and pop culture.
Mm-hmm.
Who is memorable, right? Who's replayability? Who gets that outside buzz, outside that little cocoon, that little force field, that little wrestling bubble, all right? Like who has some transcendency, all right? So, as far as newcomer of the year, all right, meaning your first year, so to me, there's only one choice. All right, it's someone who entered the WWE at the beginning of the year, and they said, "You're that dude. You are that person. You're going to carry us. We're starting you at the top, and you're going to carry us. All right, and we're all going to follow your lead, and you're going to take us to the next level for years and years to come." And she said, "Okay." And then Royal Rumble, she came and said, "I'm going to give you a theme music that's going to cost WWE a hell of a lot of money every time you play it.
Word.
I'm going to borrow the nickname from legendary Hall of Famer Rowdy Piper, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to learn on the job, but I know who I am, I know what I can bring, and I'm going to improve, I'm going to respect the biz, and I am going to be the hottest rookie you've ever seen." And I think it's hard to argue that the 2018 Jammy for Newcomer of the Year goes to Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I can't. It's hard for me to dispute that pick because the thing with Ronda Rousey that makes her such a great newcomer is that the hype around her was tremendous. Former UFC champion, one of the most popular female athletes in the world. So for WWE to get her in general was a big get. If she got in the match, and if she did a match and was okay, so. Because remember, she's never done wrestling before. So even though she has an athletic background, she's done MMA, the wrestling world is completely different. And even people who fought in MMA before and transitioned to wrestling, they've said that. They said it's a completely different world. Being good in MMA does not make you good at wrestling. It's completely different things that you have to learn. So if she had come in and she had a so-so year, it would have been okay, well, good try, Ronda. You're getting there, you're developing, and you're going to get there. But out of the gate, her first match ever, wrestling match ever, at WrestleMania, it's a tag match with one person who's not known for her wrestling prowess at all, and Stephanie McMahon. And then you have Triple H, who's one of the all-time greats. But then you have Kurt Angle on her team, who's broken down Kurt Angle. Nowhere near the Kurt Angle that we've all known and loved, who's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So everyone thought that this match was going to be a train wreck. They thought, okay, they'll probably have Ronda do a couple of things, tap out Stephanie real quick, and that'll be it. It wound up being the best match at WrestleMania.
Yep.
And it wound up being one of the best matches of the year.
Yep.
And in large part, that's because of Ronda Rousey. Her presence, her physicality, the stuff that she can do in the ring, the way that she's able to switch and transition with such speed that a lot of other people can't do. It was genuinely mind-blowingly impressive how good she was in the ring for her first match. And then she continued that by having good matches with the likes of Nikki Bella, having good matches with the likes of Nia Jax. She's having good matches match with the likes of Alexa Bliss. She's having matches, good matches with people who are not known for being good wrestlers. So can you imagine what she's going to do in 2019 when they put her in the ring against people like Becky Lynch? Put her, and then we saw what she did at Survivor Series with Charlotte. They put her in the ring with one of the best female wrestlers on the roster, and they wind up having one of the best matches of the year. So imagine when she's on the ring with Sasha, with Bayley, with other of the other female wrestlers that are in the roster now or coming up from NXT. She's going to have an even better 2019, I feel, but she had one of the best rookie years ever, like for a wrestler, like on par with Kurt Angle's rookie year, like just like took to it like that, and she's just like a natural. And I look forward to what she's going to accomplish in 2019. So that's a great pick. That was one of the people I was going to pick.
Wait, how did you not agree with me? You definitely just sounded like you agreed with me.
I agree with you, but there's one other person. There's only one more person that I could give Newcomer of the Year to over Ronda Rousey.
This would be good.
And the one person I had to give Newcomer of the Year to, he's not new to wrestling like Ronda Rousey is, but he is new to WWE. So I claim him as a newcomer. And the reason that I have to give him Newcomer of the Year is because this dude came in with a lot of hype. He traveled the world. He's been in Japan. He's been to all types of stuff. And he, wowed crowds all over the world. But people were like, how is he going to transition to the WWE? The WWE style is different. Can he still be that? Can he still wow the crowds? And the answer was a resounding yes. He came in on a House of Fire. His first match was a classic, and every other match he's had this year has been great. Literally, he's had no bad matches in 2018. Every single one of them have been great. So for that reason, I have to give my Newcomer of the Year to Ricochet. Ricochet came off the Indies, came from Japan, started in WWE, during WrestleMania weekend, TakeOver, his first match, he electrified the crowd in that ladder match. He had great matches with Adam Cole, great matches with Velveteen Dream, great matches against Pete Dunne. So he's had all these amazing matches in 2018. So even though Ronda Rousey came in and she's legit, and I agree with everything that you said, she is going to be a force for years to come, and I think that she had one of the most impressive rookie years, for someone being new to wrestling. But me, because I'm a Ricochet fan, and I'm glad to see the way he transitioned into WWE, I got to give him my Newcomer of the Year.
I don't think any award describes our differences more than what just happened. Keep in mind, I dig Ricochet. I think he has the ability to be the most intriguing, most charismatic, most physically gifted cruiserweight since Rey Mysterio. Yeah. I honestly feel that way. Mm-hmm. This dude is on another level. But it's still NXT. You know what I mean? Ronda Rousey is a UFC Hall of Famer. She's a real, legit, mainstream star. You know what I mean? And she gets sports entertainment. That's the beauty of sports entertainment. She's got the sport. She's a world-class athlete, bro. Mm-hmm. You can't teach that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, promos and the little things in the ring, that you can teach. Mm-hmm. But she came in right away and she impressed a lot of people, and she shut up a lot of haters and a lot of doubters. You know what I mean? So, she's played in big games. Ricochet ain't played no big games yet.
But I think that's why I want to give him Newcomer of the Year. Because, she's already been on the main stage. She's already been in WrestleMania. She's already been on SummerSlam. So she's already been on the biggest stage. And she was in a ton of big UFC spots. So she's used to the spotlight. She's used to the big stage. Ricochet isn't. He's used to, smaller promotions. He's used to Japan, which is getting more popular, but it's nowhere near the level of WWE. But the thing is that for him to come in, even to NXT, because we've seen people that were touted it's big international stars or big indie stars, and they come into NXT and they flounder or they don't do as well. But he came in and not only did he meet expectations, he exceeded them. And now a lot of people are thinking, and what you said was perfect, I think that Ricochet is going to be this generation's Rey Mysterio. I think that when he's eventually called up to the main roster, and he will be, because he's too electric and he's too charismatic for them not to. I think when he comes up, he has a legit chance of one day being a world champion just based off his arsenal of moves and the way he electrifies the crowd. He does stuff in that ring that almost nobody else in the world can do. So I think just for that reason, he's going to get over huge. And that's why I think he had one of the best rookie years in WWE. Don't get me wrong, Ronda Rousey, amazing year, and she was number 2 on my list. She was number 2 Newcomer of the Year. But I got to go with my man Ricochet because I feel like he is destined for great things, and this was the beginning of the greatness.
What is he though? He's black, right?
Yeah, I think he's mixed. He's like black and
All right, well,
yeah.
all right, then I'm really rooting for him. But okay, but put it like this, right? Once Ronda Rousey finds out that she was number 2 on your list, she's coming after you. So so you should be shook.
I should
if
be
Ricochet
shook.
finds out he's number 2 on my list, I like my chances more against him than you against Ronda. So
I'm not gonna lie. If I saw Ronda Rousey coming for me, I'd probably run because that armbar is legit.
All right, so we're off to a good start here. All right, next.
So next category, we're gonna go comeback of the year. What wrestler, like in the past couple of years, has either fallen off, been injured, whatever the case may be, and then they came back this year and not only came back to meet expectations but exceed expectations of their comeback. So who is your 2018 comeback of the year?
All right, well, speaking of falling off, we're not going to do a Damn You Fell Off, Jamie, this year, but it was going to be Enzo and Cass.
That's why we didn't even do it.
That was happening.
Enzo had to break into Survivor Series and get kicked out, which is demoralizing, and Cass passed out at an indie show. So the two of them are just having an awful 2018. So
they should have never broke up. Right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yep. They needed each other, and they found out the hard way.
Yep.
This was actually the hardest one to pick because we had some good candidates this year.
Yep.
We had some good nominees. Drew McIntyre was on my list.
Yep.
And I was very close to just giving it to Kurt Angle. You know what I mean? Because he just came, because he had a long hiatus and he came back from a lot.
Yeah.
Came back, stayed on the roster for a year, did everything he was supposed to do in the ring, outside the ring.
I still have really good matches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So glad that he was back. But my comeback of the year was someone who really came back. And when he came back, everybody missed him. And then when he came back, everybody expected him to be the same old dude, including him. And then we all found out the hard way, you can't turn back the clock. You know what I mean? Like that era was that era. Those moments are those moments. You can't relive that. But then he's smart. This dude said, WWE, look, I need you, you need me, but we can't do what we did. Nope. All right? And you know what? Let me handle it. Let me figure it out because I'm not gonna let y'all control me because y'all are gonna mess me up. So let me try something that I've always wanted to try. You know what I mean? You might think it's risky. It might have a Hollywood Hogan element to it, but you know what? It's worth it to me. Yeah. And if I'm gonna be here and if I'm gonna ever regain what I was, I can't take the same path. We gotta reroute.
Yep.
So my comeback of the year, and I think this is unanimous, goes to the man that I have so much respect for. I can't call him Daniel, because that ain't his name. His mama named him Brian. I'm going to call him Brian. All right? So come back and welcome back Brian Danielson, my 2018 comeback of the year. Jammy!
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's one that I can't argue with. I was kind of like teetering the fence between Daniel and Drew McIntyre, just because I thought Drew McIntyre had an amazing comeback year to go from being exiled and released by the WWE to killing it on the indies and coming back and beating Kurt Angle cleanly with an ankle lock. That shows you how much he's ascended up the ranks. And so I think that he had an amazing comeback. But Daniel Bryan had the biggest comeback of the year because not only did he have because he had to come back in two senses. He had to come back. He came back from injury. He had the feel-good story at WrestleMania. He got to come back, have his match, have a little rekindling of the Yes movement.
Came out of retirement.
Came out exactly
for 2 years.
Yes, he was retired.
He wasn't supposed to come back.
He wasn't supposed to come back. He was done. All the doctor said, you're done. You're never going to wrestle again. And he was able to, and he busted his butt. He did what he had to do to get he went to a million different doctors to get cleared. He got cleared. He came back at WrestleMania, had the feel-good story, had a great match there, had a bunch of other great matches. But like Jerm touched upon, Bryan Danielson is a smart man. And he said, yeah, there's still people in the crowd cheering for me, but that cheer ain't the way it used to be. They're not going nuts for me the way they used to. He saw that when he got in the ring with AJ Styles, they were cheering more for AJ Styles than him. So he said, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to be the happy-go-lucky face anymore. And that SmackDown, when he turned heel, was one of the most genuinely shocking moments that WWE has produced in the last couple of years. Because everybody thought that the way they were going with Daniel Bryan was that him and Miz were going to face off again at WrestleMania. The way they were playing it up was like they're going to keep feuding, they're going to keep taking jabs at each other, and then they're going to have a blow off at WrestleMania to culminate their feud that they've been having since Daniel came back. That's what everyone thought. So when I was sitting down watching SmackDown, I thought, oh, this is pretty cool. They gave us a Daniel Bryan AJ Styles match. And I'm thinking fully that AJ Styles is going to retain, and I'm not thinking anything of it. And then I see Daniel Bryan give AJ Styles a low blow, win the championship, and then attack him after the match. I was literally there with my mouth open in shock because I could not believe what I was watching. And I had to like sit and process, why would they turn him heel? Why would the WWE turn him heel? He's one of the most popular guys that they have. And then when I thought about it more, I realized the genius of the move. Okay, he's not getting as much cheers as he used to, and I remember how good Bryan Danielson is as a heel. When he was in ROH, he was an amazing heel. Even when he was in WWE, before the whole Yes movement started, he was an amazing heel. The guy knows how to do both sides, and the work that he's been doing since he turned heel just further proves that. He was able to get Mustafa Ali from 205 Live. He is now being talked about by casual fans who've never watched 205 Live because Daniel Bryan put this kid over like $1 million. And that's what a great heel does. A great heel can be a dominant champion, but still make all his challengers look like $1 million. And there's nobody that's going to do that better than Daniel Bryan. So I think that he's primed to have a great 2019 as a heel, maybe eventually turn face in the future. But I think for comeback of the year is definitely, without a doubt, Daniel Bryan. He had an amazing comeback year.
Brilliant. And this whole hippie Green Party Daniel Bryan, it's brilliant.
Yes.
Like he did a low blow and then he made the turn. And then you're like, oh man, that was shocking. Yeah. But now what? Yeah. And then you wait a week and then he explains himself. Mm-hmm. Okay? And then you're like, okay. And then you wait a week and then all of a sudden, boom, y'all people are killing the earth. Yes. Y'all people don't know how to live your best lives. I do. And then he goes on commentary. And you're like, yo, this dude is... He just reinvented and created a whole new lane. Yep. Because my whole thing about WrestleMania 30 2014, when he did the greatest single individual performance in the history of WrestleMania, and it culminated with the highest crescendo you can end on. My thing was like, it's like winning the lottery. Yeah. Where do you go from there? Where do you go from there? You're already rich. Yes. You know what I mean? I mean, you had to do that. Right? So I'm not mad at that outcome. Yeah, that was the end of that story. That was when he peaked. Yep. The Yes movement, all that stuff was never going to get any higher than that. Yep. All right. And if he had stayed healthy and he had kept going on that track, it would have ended more organically. Yeah. So they came back. They tried to restart it, and then they realized that's just not how it works. So the WWE, I'm not giving the WWE credit for this. I really think that the WWE can now say, we ended the Yes movement, you didn't. Yeah. But at the same time, all that's happening right now, that ain't WWE, man. That ain't WWE. That's Bryan. Yep. You know what I mean? So Bryan, man, amazing. You're the dude. Like, and I used to think that him versus CM Punk was like a real argument for me. But now that he has like all this trajectory and like all these new avenues that we can play with no, like I think CM Punk helped pave a way for him. Yeah, definitely. But I think Bryan's taking it further than CM Punk would have. He's taking it to another level. Not could have, but I think would have. Exactly. So Daniel Bryan's he's just a whole new guy, man. Yeah. So that's the first thing we agree on. Yeah, there we go. So we got one. We got one that we agree on. All right, so let's go. Let's see if we agree on this one. I doubt it, but let's see. We're going to go rivalry of the year. Oh, we're definitely not agreeing on that. All right. So, Jerem, tell me, what was your 2018 rivalry of the year? All right. Like, again, none of this stuff really got me that much this year. It really didn't. You know what I mean? The story landscape, like, really. Miz and Bryan was the one I was hoping for, and then they poo-pooed it. Yep. So I'm going to go real life on y'all. So my 2018 Jammy for Wrestling Rivalry of the Year is the media versus WWE. Oh, that is my pick. Because first of all, we already touched on the whole Saudi Arabia thing, right? But even before that, when WWE was going into WrestleMania and they're like, oh man, another feel-good shout-out for the women, all right? We about to have a Battle Royal. And now we're going to have a Battle Royal. We're going to name it after the Fabulous Moolah, right? Everyone loves the Fabulous Moolah. And then the internet, like they do with everything, they were like, wait. Didn't Moolah, isn't her past a little checkered?
Yep.
You know, didn't she do some immoral,
Pimp-ish,
yeah,
pimp-like activities?
things to women? Not, but to women too.
Yes.
Like, wasn't she kind of tough?
Mm-hmm.
I'm coding a lot here.
Yeah.
And then the WWE was like, oh snap. I didn't think they knew that or really cared that much. All right, I guess we can't name this Battle Royal the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royal anymore, and they changed it.
Yep. They had to.
There you go, man. So that's my route. That's what I'm going to remember 2018 for.
Yep.
They got trolled, and WWE's like, damn.
Yep.
They lost in the court of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So that's my rivalry of the year, ladies and gentlemen. The media versus WWE, with the media winning. Yeah. And the internet winning. Black Twitter, everybody. All y'all deserve, all y'all work together to get this jammy. You know what I'm saying?
Word. So that was an unexpected rivalry of the year, but also a really good pick for rivalry of the year because the media has been giving it to WWE all year long.
Deservingly so, man.
Yes, because the WWE...
We ain't no fanboys, man.
Yeah, we ain't fanboys. We keep it 100
here, bro.
Yeah, I love the WWE. I love wrestling, but a lot of the stuff that WWE does is very checkered, and they need to get checked on it sometimes. The whole thing with Saudi Arabia, the whole thing with Fabulous Moolah, the thing where they tried to sneak Hulk Hogan back in.
Oh man!
In Saudi
How did
Arabia.
I almost let that slide? I wrote it down.
They just snuck him in. Like, oh, it's not in America. Maybe we can and it's like everyone blew up. Like, nah, son, you can't just sneak Hulk Hogan in another country and think we're not going to realize.
All countries. Yo, I didn't even watch it. They didn't even. He came out to Real America.
Yes, he came out.
That makes it even worse.
Yes, exactly. He came out in another country, and WWE just expected everyone to just forget what he did, and Twitter blew up. Like, are you serious, WWE? Do you really expect us to embrace this racist man again, who still has yet to like a fully heartfelt apology for his words and his actions? Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like, it's a different time now, and I think WWE is slowly learning that. They used to be able to get away with stuff because there'd only be a small little section of the internet that would complain about it and whatever, but the internet is widespread now. And the thing is that even casual fans are on the internet. They might not troll the boards and all that like people like myself do, but they're going to go online if they see something they don't like and say, and at WWE, hey WWE, I don't like this. Like if they feel like something is being racist or sexist or whatever, they're going to let the WWE know. So they can't get away with stuff in the past like now the way that they used to in the past. It's a different era now. So that's a good rivalry of the year. My rivalry is a little bit more traditional. So my rivalry of the year is just like, I just think it was fantastic storytelling. It started from last year, it bled into this year, and I think like it just carried like the NXT brand for all of 2018, and it took it into unexpected places. That's why I love this rivalry so much, because the thing is that it was a blood feud. The rivalry I'm talking about is Tommaso Ciampa against Johnny Gargano, because it's such a great feud, and this is the reason why it's such a great feud and a great rivalry, because they killed each other for like all of the whole year. And this is one of the first time, maybe not the first time, there's been other instances that I could think of, but the first time in a while that I could think of the way that they use this feud to fuel a heel turn for the face in the rivalry. Because what happened is that Johnny Gargano was so obsessed with beating Tommaso Ciampa. That was like, this man like cost me the title. He's cost me so much in my life. He almost like ended my career. Like, I'm obsessed with beating him, that when he saw that Tommaso Ciampa was going to get like a chance for Aleister Black's NXT championship, he was like, I can't have this happen. And then he tried to stop it, but he wound up costing Aleister Black the title, and Tommaso Ciampa won it. And then when Aleister Black was going to get his rematch, he somehow inserted himself into that. Like, no, I have to be the one to stop him. And then he laid out Aleister Black because he's like, I have to be the one to beat. It's like it showed a man that was so on the brink of madness because of what this person had done to him that he himself became the bad guy. It's masterful storytelling. It's like that's the type of stuff I love. That's like like the Dark Knight stuff. Like like what the Jay-Z lyric, you live long enough, you either die early to be a hero or you live long enough to be the villain. Like, that's a perfect example of Johnny Gargano. He was trying so hard to be the hero, and when he failed at that, he wound up becoming a villain. So it's like, that's why it's getting my my rivalry of the year. I just thought that from beginning to end, it's just been masterful storytelling all year round between the two of them.
We had to check the scorecards because we agreed on one, and we couldn't be more split on the other two.
Yes.
So there's going to be no draw here.
Exactly. There's no draw, and you got to let us know in the comments who is winning this. Like, so let's go to the last one for this, for part 2 of the Jammies. Mm-hmm. So the last Jammy we're giving in this session is what was the biggest wrestling moment of 2018? And this could be in-ring, this could be a story, this could be anything. What do you think was the biggest moment in wrestling in 2018?
All right, I'm going to give you a chance here, all right? Mm-hmm. Because I already referenced the moments that I was going to pick. All right, so Roman Reigns revealing he has leukemia is obviously the moment, right? Yeah. So I'm going to keep it more traditional, right? Mm-hmm. So now Becky Lynch, her Raw takeover, I already mentioned that. So just for fun, I'm going to leave those two out, just for fun. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to go with just the moments where I actually watched the product and I was actually entertained and enjoyed what I watched. Yeah. All right. So I was going to give it to this one segment on Raw where Elias was doing his thing in the ring, and then Braun Strowman came out with a cello, and like that back and forth, right? So I was gonna give it to that, but it's good for a laugh, right? Yeah. So now my jammy for my most memorable 2018 WWE wrestling moment is going to go to something that I just never thought that I would see on WWE programming, and it was so outside the box and so crazy and so well done. See, I love it when wrestlers just take their own destiny into their own hands. Yeah. Like, look, WWE, like, I know me. I know what my fans and my people want more than you do. Just let me cook. Just let me rock this. Can you let me have this? And then they were like, all right, you can close Raw with this. Yep. So my 2018 jammy. My 2018 jammy for my most memorable moment of the year goes to Ultimate Deletion. Because what was that? Yes. Like, what the hell was that? And why did I love watching it so much? Like, that was just, that wasn't even that was just some, that was, whoa. And it's one of those rare things where, like, okay, you did it on TNA. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it got their thing. Yeah, WWE tried to do their own version without you, and it was whack. Yes. But they got Matt Hardy in, right? They got a Woken, first of all, Broken, like, Woken was supposed to work. He got Woken to work, and then he actually talked to WWE Brass and letting him do an Ultimate Deletion, and it was the joint! Oh my God. Like, I don't know, man. That to me, all right, so for fun, I'm going to give that my jammy. That's my fun jammy. Yeah, that was a fun moment. Like, to see them, like, I think something that, like, all the fans feared who were a fan of the Hardys, like, whole, like, broken Hardys thing in TNA, they felt if they went to WWE, they were going to ruin it. They were like, and in the beginning, it did look like they were going to kind of ruin it. But then once they started letting Matt kind of, like, take over the creative aspect of it and do his own weird thing, like, and that WWE, like, didn't believe in it, because they would, like, have Michael Cole say stuff like, what you're going to see is really weird, and, like, kind of like there is, like, kind of like the disclaimer, like, we have nothing to do with this. We're letting Matt Hardy do some weird little experiment he likes to do, but don't take it out on us. But then when the fans loved it, then WWE was like, oh yeah, yes, come, yeah, it was our idea. Don't you love it? Isn't it so fantastic? So it's like they took something that had exceeded TNA, they took it over, and then Matt Hardy and the rest of them made it work in WWE, and that was like a really good, like, Ultimate Deletion match. So I thought that that was a fun moment of 2018, definitely. And you touched upon some of the other big moments. Roman Reigns, like, announcing was of course like a big moment, and it shook the wrestling world. Like, I remember, it really is the moment. Like, I'm not. Yeah. Like, if we're being honest, that's the biggest moment, like, because that was the one that, like, real life moment, because it's like, I can't even think of another time where, like, the main event guy, like, the guy, not like a guy who's, like, kind of upper echelon, but, like, not the top guy. This would be like equivalent to, like, Stone Cold or The Rock or, HBK or Bret Hart, someone like that in their prime, announcing that they have, like, a life-threatening illness and they have to leave. Mm-hmm. It was shocking, and it was like it sent, like, it reverberated through the whole wrestling world, and even people who did not care for Roman Reigns, like, wished him well, because nobody, if you don't like the character, you like the man, and you want him to do well and come back stronger than ever. So that was, like, probably, but I had to go with something else because I'm different. And even though that was, like, a big moment and it shook the wrestling world, my moment is more, like, probably untraditional, and it's not not in the scope of WWE. No. It's gonna be some NXT behind the scenes, it's not in the locker room. No, it's not. It's not even NXT. It's outside of the world of WWE. Okay. Outside of the world of WWE, what I'm going for is
there's a man, a wrestler, that has been toiling away, has been doing stuff for years, like on the independents in Japan, building his rep up, like, becoming, like, through his own sheer will, like, one of the biggest wrestlers in the world outside of WWE, to the point where he's almost as famous as some wrestlers in the WWE besides not being there. And this man did the work, did everything, and then it all culminated on one night in Japan, where he faced Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. And Okada had been holding it for the longest time of any IWGP champion in history, which is a big deal because IWGP the New Japan has been around for a long time. So it's not like there's some new promotion. So and a lot of very prestigious people have held that title. So for Okada to have that, a record-breaking, like 12 times that he had defended that title, which is a big deal in Japan because their title defenses aren't as frequent as in America. It's a big deal when the title gets defended over there. And they had a 2 out of 3 falls match, and he had that match against Kenny Omega. And this was a match that had been built up. Kenny Omega had a chance at the IWGP Championship before, and he failed. And and this is when he was a heel. He's the leader of Bullet Club. But he'd eventually, started to become more of like a tweener. He was kind of still had heel tendencies, but the fans were starting to love him. He had reunited with his friend Kota Ibushi. He started the whole thing with the Young Bucks. They did the Being of the Elite show on YouTube, which got really popular. And now this man had a chance for the IWGP Championship in a 2 out of 3 falls match, which was an instant classic match. Just a crazy, ridiculously good match. That was my second favorite match of 2018. And to see him win that championship and the emotion that came out of him, like in the speech or whatever, you could tell that was genuine, that this man had been somebody that nobody thought was going to be more than like a cruiserweight attraction. He was just going to be, and he ascended to the heights of being the top wrestler in Japan, and he's now completely 100% on WWE's radar. And I think it's only a matter of time until you see him in the WWE, because he's reached that level of prominence where WWE can't ignore him anymore. They're going to throw the money truck at him to eventually try to get him over. So that's why my biggest moment of 2018 is Kenny Omega beating Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP Championship and ending Okada's historic reign.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. I mean, okay, I figured out where you were going during that. Okay. All right. Okay. But again, look at the great lengths that we went to even name some of these awards. All right. Because we try to be WWE centric. But if you're not going to do right by us, WWE, what else do you expect us to do?
Exactly. Especially in this day and age when there's so many other wrestling promotions and it's so easy to get their content now. It's not like back in the day when WWE was the only thing in town. Every wrestling promotion has a streaming service now. They're all on YouTube. They're all on whatever. So a lot of people who are getting disenchanted with the WWE product are discovering these other products. I have a friend, and she's done nothing but watch WWE her whole life. And she just recently got into New Japan and ROH, and she loves it. And she's still going to watch WWE because as much as we WWE fans complain, we're still going to watch WWE. All these people go, oh, New Japan is better and blah, blah. They still watch WWE. They claim that they don't, but they do, because WWE is the product. If you're a wrestling fan in America, there's a 95% chance that you were that because of WWE, unless you live down south and you watch NWA or whatever and say in the 80s, and maybe you got into wrestling because of that. But I know for me, for Germ, for a lot of people, we got into wrestling because of WWE. So even when they're not doing right by us, we still will watch them. But we're also going to let you know, we're going to watch those other promotions too. And we're going to let you know when those other promotions are outpacing you and you need to step your game up. Just like back in the days during the Monday Night Wars when WCW was kicking WWE's ass and people were still watching WWE, but they were letting them know, hey, we like this WCW thing. We're still going to watch you, but we're going to watch WCW a little bit more because they're putting on a more entertaining product. And then WWE had to step their game up and go, okay, we got to step it up if we want to be the number one promotion in the land again. And that's what I think they have to figure out soon, because New Japan's gaining momentum. You see these the guys from the elite of ROH, like the Young Bucks at Cody and all these. They're talking about they're in talks with networks to try and start up their own promotion. They sold out Madison Square Garden. They're one of the first wrestling promotions, not in WWE, in almost 20 years to sell out Madison Square Garden. So the competition out there is real. So the days of WWE resting on their laurels is done. And I think that they're starting to realize that, and that's why they're signing so much talent, because they're realizing that there's a lot of competition now, and they got to up their game.
Man, I hope that's what it means, or else we're just encouraging them, haha, we got your money anyway. Come on, man, look, let's be real, man. Come on, we ain't stupid, bro.
Yeah.
For example, Dean Ambrose is heel.
Yeah.
He's married to Renee Young.
Yes.
She's forced to call all the shit, all the stuff he does. Can you untangle that? You know, like it's just you know, like you know. That's number one. And come on, look. I'm sorry, man. Elias on the guitar, and then Braun comes out with a cello because he's so damn big that a guitar on a normal person, a cello is what. Come on, like that's funny. Like come on, like stick stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Apollo should be a star.
Exactly.
Jason Jordan needs to come back. Like these guys should be. Come on, man.
Yes.
Like, come on,
Just use the guys you
know
have.
your people,
you have so
man.
much talent.
Asuka should be dumb. Like, know your people. I'm done. Cut it.
All right. So for GK, this is Julian. We're gonna get out of here because GK is pissed off with it.
Done, yeah.
All right.
Done.
But Jamaica Alpha
Out.